Just thought I'd touch on Virginia for a minute. Yeah, Virginia as a whole, people think that the whole state's pretty much, how can I put it, cheap. From my research, over here, Rocky, it is to a point. So, other than housing, which in the western portion of Virginia, southwestern and central and the southern portion of Virginia, all are pretty affordable because it's the mountainous area in the west. Plus you got southern Virginia, which is pretty cheap. You can find pretty affordable housing. You know, you can find rent that's $1,000, sometimes even a little less in apartments. You can find houses that are $300,000 and less, and sometimes even more if you really want that. But the thing is that you're trying to find jobs. That's the hardest thing in these small towns, mountain towns, is the jobs. If you find, other than working at a prison, it would probably be a bit hard to find them. I mean, yeah, if you live in a metro area like Richmond or Roanoke or Lynchburg, Charlottesville, what other places, way down south, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, I wouldn't doubt you could find jobs over there. But I'm more talking about in the portions of the country towns. Because like I said, I mean, Richmond isn't that expensive. Neither is Virginia Beach. Or any of the other cities that I just mentioned. But like I said, that's if you can find a job that you can afford those places. Now, Virginia is a well-rounded state. You also got the northern portion where it's really expensive, near DC. You got all the government workers, government jobs, people making a boatload of money. You got millionaires up there. I mean, houses go from $300,000 on up into the millions. You know, it's crazy how much that is over there in Northern Virginia. Traffic is really bad. That's where most of the population is in Northern Virginia. But what really makes it expensive, if you want to live in the southern, southwestern, western, or even central part of Virginia, if you found that job and whatnot, you got your taxes, you got your state income tax, which comes out of your check every week or every 2 weeks or however it works for you in your job. And then you got a personal property tax or a car tax, which is pretty much a tax on your car every year. And the newer the car is, the more money you're going to pay. The older the car is, the less money you'll pay. If you got a 20-year-old car, that thing's going to probably be worth like $60 a year you'll be paying. But if you got a newer car, that thing you could be paying thousands of dollars. And imagine if you had multiple cars, like 2 or 3 cars, and they're all newer. You could be paying a good multiple thousands of dollars on each car. Like I said, it's about $4.50 or $4.25 per $100 assessed value of your car. So, like I said, if you got a newer car, it doesn't matter where you're at in Virginia, it's going to be a pretty penny to have them. And like I said, that's not monthly, that's just every year. So every year you have it, they're going to assess the value of it, and then you'll pay whatever it is that you pay. And then taxes, like I said, you got your state income tax that's based on your check, what you pay out every week in taxes, or every other week or every month. You got your emissions and your inspections. Northern Virginia, if I remember correctly, they are the only portion of the state that has emissions. I could be wrong on that. Comment below if I'm right or wrong, or, all that. I do know the whole state has inspections, but they don't cost that much. It's probably gonna cost you like $50 for both, like all together. But like I said, you'll have to do more research on that. Last time I checked, it was like $16 or $20 for the inspection, and then $20 or $30 for the emissions. It could be a little bit more depending on inflation, but you got to make sure that your inspection and your emissions are up to date. Now, it all really, like I said, it depends. Like, if you live in Northern Virginia and your car is registered in Northern Virginia, then you got to get your inspections and all that and your emissions. But if you live in Southern Virginia or in a county that doesn't do emissions, then you just got to worry about the inspections. So you got to get your car up to date and all that crap, because police will pull you over if you have a dead inspection sticker sometimes. Let's see. One thing about personal property tax I left out and I forgot. If you do not pay it the year before, the county can garnish your wages, and they can also not let you register your car again. So just say your registration is due and you need to renew it. Then you go up to the DMV, you tell them, I need to renew my tax. Sometimes you can do it online too. It really all depends on your situation. They'll tell you, they'll look up your name and all that crap, and then all of a sudden they'll say, oh, well, you owe a tax for your personal property tax. And then sometimes they'll give you like a month or two so your tag isn't dead, and then hopefully you can get your personal property tax paid, and then you can go back and you can get your car renewed for a couple years. There's like a year to, I think there's a 3-year option too to renew your tags for. And I mean, like I said, there's also well-rounded state. There's hiking trails, there's mountains, there's beaches like Virginia Beach. You can go out to the bay. You can go out of state and go, if you're in Northern Virginia, and go over there to the to Ocean City, Maryland. There's a lot of things that you can do outdoors in Virginia. You got all 4 seasons. The winters aren't very like brutally cold like the northern winters in like Montana and New York and Vermont and Maine and all that, because it's a mid-Atlantic state, southern state if you want to call it that, but I will call it more a mid-Atlantic state. I mean, it's true, but like I said, it's not too brutally cold. And the summers can be really, really hot and humid. Spring is pretty mild, and then the fall is pretty mild. But winter can be, from what I understand, can be really bipolar. So you can get all 4 seasons in a week. You can literally be cold, 30-degree weather in the morning, and then when later at night it can be in the 50s and 60s. It really all depends. So if you like the snow, from what I understand, snow isn't that prevalent here. Yeah, there's some snowstorms here and there, but it's nothing like a New York or any of the northern states. You're not going to see that much snow. You might see a foot here, 6 inches there, a sprinkle here, or none at all. So that's just my opinion on Virginia. For some, it's a better state than a place like Florida. I like the heat. I don't like the cold, so I like Florida better. Plus, it's just the atmosphere is better, in my opinion. But I wouldn't mind Virginia. Virginia is not bad to live, from what I understand. And let me know in the comments below what you guys think. So I want to know. You think it's worth it or no?